Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of BTTH, the Flame Emperor episode number 96 based on novel. So let's start. There seems to be a fight here. Not long after Xiao Yan and the Medusa snake guard disappeared, another group of people came to the place where they just fought. There were 11 people in this group, and the one in the lead was extremely gorgeous. This flame is different, it doesn't seem to be an ordinary flame. The alchemist Core slowly took a trace of flame that was still burning in the air, and opened his mouth slightly. The alchemist's perception of flames can't be wrong. Could it be that someone got there first? Xian Mo on the side was dressed in black, and then his eyes kept looking around. His expression was a little irritable. Obviously, he was constantly wasting time in this desert and was quite irritable. Probably not. After all, the temple of the Medusa family is not so easy to enter. According to the remaining energy here, there should just be a fight here. King Shenling said slowly after hesitation. Fight. Being able to break through the defenses of the Medusa village and enter the depths of the Medusa clan, the strength of these people should not be underestimated. Yaroshin on the side said. Forget it now that our Shenling royal family's peak combat power is here. Even in the face of the 9 major tribes of Medusa, we have the power to fight. King Shenling said somewhat proudly. Yep. Let's go. The location of the temple of the Medusa family is ahead. Nu Dong should have been waiting for us somewhere. Everyone should be vigilant. Yaroshin stood up straight and took the lead. Angry East. Some uninformed people asked in surprise. Don't be surprised, it's just some partnership. Seeing this, Yimo opened his mouth slightly. Following Yimo's words, everyone calmed down. I don't know who has the courage to break into the depths of Medusa, but no matter who you are, if you ruin my good deeds, then this king will be the first to let you go. Nu Dong, I hope you won't let me down this time. Catch the swallowing python in the temple alive, it's a good thing for you and me. King Shenling said viciously in his heart. As soon as he finished speaking, the group slowly started walking. The direction they were walking was the opposite of the direction Xiao Yang and the others were walking in before. As King Shenling went deeper into the desert, the color of the desert continued to deepen, and a crisis lurked. Just after King Xuanling's group left, Lao Zhu and the 3 men in black slowly appeared one after the other. These 3 little guys are really good. They are quite compatible with the Bloodblade mercenary group, but their purpose is why it is a desert. I'm afraid I don't know the secrets of the various legends in the desert. But there are some people from the Bloodblade mercenary group. The problem should be big. The Shenling King's group actually wants to find the Medusa temple. Could it be? Old Zhu said slowly, and then those deep pupils flickered slightly. You can't let them succeed. Zhu Laro closed his eyes, and then said in a deep voice, and followed up immediately after speaking, the half-immortal level terrifying strength perfectly concealed his aura. What is this King Shenling doing? Elder Zhu left, and the short one among the 3 men in black spoke slowly, a strange black aura constantly surrounding him. This black aura instantly isolated the high temperature around him. 3 sect masters, this seems to be the depths of the Medusa clan, so be careful. Song Li on the side moved smartly. Although I don't know what the Shenling King is going to do, but according to my guess, they must have plans to dispatch such a huge force to this Medusa family, so when we arrive. 3 sect master Liu Quan gloomy laughed. As for that bamboo ember, if you want to take the treasure, Zhu Jin must also die. Follow up, be careful. After Liu Quan finished speaking, the black aura on the 3 of them skyrocketed, and they walked away facing the front. Strange, the temperature here seems to be getting higher and higher. And the sand here seems to be different. Just after walking for a few miles, King Xuanling's group stopped. In the desert, the direction is the most important. If you lose your direction, you will probably be trapped in this endless desert. Yaroshin, what's wrong? Yimo saw Yaroshin stopped, a trace of doubt appeared on the old face, and he immediately exited. Be careful. Before Yaroshin could answer Yimo's question, 100 meters of energy suddenly emerged from the golden sand in front of him. Humph. Seeing this, Mu Chenfeng snorted coldly, and then a shocking breath came out, and an energy handprint attacked the 100 meters of energy. Boom boom boom. The 2 forces collided, and the entire desert was filled with smoke. Who is it? Mu Chenfeng whispered, his eyes alert at all times. With the appearance of this scene, many powerhouses were slightly vigilant, because on top of the energy training just now, there was a power that made many of them feel fearful. Who? Get out. King Shenling snorted coldly, and the invisible fluctuations of fighting qi spread slowly. Above Do Qi, A faint power of black and white emerge. It is the power of life and death. Such terrifying fluctuations, even some 9-star Do emperors who have entered the 5th rank have never had it. The strength of this Xianling king is so terrifying. Humph. King Xianling, why didn't you notify me in advance when you came this time? A voice of dissatisfaction suddenly came out from all directions, and then a burly figure appeared in the golden desert. King Xianling is quite familiar with this figure. It turned out to be you, Nu Dong. King Xianling said with a smile. Then he hurriedly explained, there seem to be some traitors in our Xianling royal family, so I didn't inform you in advance this time. You are so willing. Nu Dong looked like a human man, and then his pupils turned, looking at the group of people in front of him. There are as many as 11 people, and their strength is extremely terrifying. If they joined forces, I'm afraid Nu Dong would not have the confidence to go out for 10 rounds. Even among these 10 people, there are no less than 3 people who actually made Nu Dong feel a tremor. Old rules. After looking around, Dong Dong said calmly. Yep. Old rules. This time, you just need to lead the guards at the entrance of the Temple of Medusa away no matter what the final result is. We will help you calm down the other tribes and make you the king of this desert. King Xianling said indifferently, with an unquestionable pride in his voice. I believe you have this strength. When Nu Dong heard the words, he was overjoyed immediately. Because of the 11 people in front of them, the one with the lowest strength also has the strength of the 8-star Do D. If this huge strength is used to quell the voices of the 9 major tribes in the Medusa clan, it will be overwhelming. Irresistible. Let's go. Nu Dong smiled, and then the figure instantly turned into a giant snake that reached the sky, with extremely dazzling scales shining on the snake's scales, and strange power emerged from the snake's pupils. After the anger turned into a giant snake, a huge energy suddenly emerged from the snake scales, and then turned into a 100-jong-sized energy giant snake, roaring, facing the place under everyone's feet whistling away. With Nu Dong's actions like this, the golden sand beneath the feet of King Xuanling's group suddenly wriggled. In just a few breaths, the golden sand spread out at a certain place, and then in one place, a dark passage appeared out of thin air. The passage is like an abyss, bottomless. Just below, a huge and magnificent palace is looming. This is the passage to the temple. After finishing everything, Nu Dong said with a fiery gaze. Is this the temple of Medusa? Staring blankly at the magnificent palace looming in the abyss, a small feeling instantly emerged from the heart of the medicine core. Yaroshin can become a high-level pharmacist, and the soul power is naturally very terrifying. It's just that the medicine core felt countless waves of huge fluctuations from the temple, and it felt as if a small piece of sand fell into the sea. Are you all right? A strong force came from Yimo's hand, and he instantly supported the medicine core on the shoulder. It's okay. Core said calmly. Let's go then. Nu Dong, the guards of the temple will be handed over to you. King Xianling said solemnly. It's okay to lead away, but I don't even know how to open the temple, so, you guys can do it yourself. Nu Dong said solemnly, and then without hesitation, the voice just fell, his figure moved strangely, and disappeared in the desert. Everyone entered the long passage in a series. In this passage, the power of the soul is everywhere, and it is extremely terrifying. Everyone follow me carefully, and don't touch other places without authorization. The medicine core was in the first place, and the beautiful eyes exuded a strange color. A group of people responded and moved slowly. They knew that there were a few extremely terrifying auras not far away, and they could only let Nu Dong divert them into action, which would have a better chance of winning. Otherwise, once they start at the core of Medusa, I am afraid that with their huge lineup, it will be a little difficult. Hey, blue and white snake. It's you again. Hundreds of meters away from the grey-white temple, where the blue and white snake stood slowly with Qing Yang, a rather small green snake said. Well, it's me, Senior Green Snake. After the blue and white snake finished speaking, it bowed slightly to the emerald green snake, and then the purple poisonous snake appeared on its face and slowly walked towards the senior green snake. After feeling the breath, the senior named green snake nodded in satisfaction. Why are you here this time? If it's for the 9-colored sky swallowing python that entered the temple before, I'd better go back. That little baby has a good temperament and talent, but no one has succeeded in the inheritance of the Medusa family since ancient times. Sigh. The green snake sighed and was about to turn around, but found a trace of anomaly. Snake. Qing Yang said slightly, and at the moment when the green snake appeared, Qing Yang only felt that his body was out of control. Then, in those eyes, Luding Sanhua pupils protected themselves and suddenly opened. This is 3 flower pupils in the furnace? The green snake said in shock. Master, come out quickly, there are some interesting things here. The next moment, the green snake was surprised and shouted, and then turned into a human-like woman. Qing Yang smiled slightly, and there was a kind of kindness on the smile. Little green, what's the matter? Didn't I say I have nothing to disturb my sleep? A slightly dissatisfied voice slowly echoed in this separate space. With the appearance of this sound, the space around the temple wiggled slightly, and then an old man with a cane came out of the void. The old man is a woman, her white hair is very striking, her face is full of wrinkles that have been eroded by the years, and she is obviously old. It's just that this is the case. The aura on the old man's body is vaguely terrifying. The crutch in his hand is a snake head in the shape of a snake's head. There are 2 dark spots in the snake's pupil above the crutch, which seems to be holding something. Little green. The old man slowly opened his eyes, and then a powerful breath burst out like a sleeping giant dragon awakening. Qing Yang's strength is only a 1-star Do Emperor after all. How could he tolerate this old man's coercion, and immediately coughed violently. Master. When the blue and white snake saw this, an extremely rare softness emerged from the snake's pupils, and slowly said to the old man, "What's this?" The old man slowly opened his eyes, and then, separated by dozens of meters, broke through and felt a special power in Qing Yan's body, and immediately his pupils shrank tightly. The figure disappeared out of thin air, and in a breath, appeared in front of Qing Yang, and then the old palm slowly lifted, gently holding Qing Yan's smooth and pretty face. Luding Ding San Huatong? An exclamation was heard in this enclosed space. Master, this is the 3-flowered pupil of the furnace. It was sent by a human who has the blood of our snake man and a disciple of the Burning Incense Pavilion. The blue and white snake said respectfully. Burning Incense Pavilion. Our Medusa family has a pretty good relationship with them. The old man said slowly. As soon as he finished speaking, the old man's pupils flashed a strange green, and then he directly met Qing Yan's eyes. Don't get excited. This is just a kind of monitoring. Although the blue and white snake believed in his master, the value of the cauldron in front of him was too great. Just when he was about to speak out, the green snake suddenly made a sound. Okay. Blue and white snake put down the offensive in his hand, and then checked it carefully. When the old man's pupils burst out with green rays of light towards Qing Yan's cauldron's 3-flowered pupils broke through and an extremely bright blue-green-purple rays of light emerged. This rays of light just appeared, and immediately the 3 people present felt an indescribable smoothness from the inside out. Even the power of blood in the body slowly undergoes a slight change under the nourishment of this power. It's Luding Sanhuatong, that's right. The old man slowly withdrew his strength, and then opened his mouth slightly. In that voice, a desolate aura permeated the entire temple. Cough, cough. Qing Yang just radiated enormous strength, and instantly became weak, and sat down on the ground, gasping for breath. Qing Yang, right? My name is Shofu, and the little green snake next to me is my partner, just call her Xiaolu. We are currently the guardians of the temple of this Medusa clan. I would like to say that there are very few people who oppose it. Get up, little guy, you came to our snake people, and the future queen position will definitely be yours, the old man said slowly. Senior, Qing Yang doesn't want the queen's seat, he just wants to be safe. Qing Yang recovered his complexion after absorbing the power of the blue and white snake, and spoke slightly. My child, in this world, if you don't kill others, others will kill you. You don't do anything wrong with your 3-flowered eyes in your arms, but why would you be auctioned off like a slave by others? It's not because you have no strength. The old man looked at Qing Yangdao, who looked quite fresh. Such an innocent woman made the old man feel slightly. But that would kill a lot of people. Qing Yang affirmed in an unusual way, his big eyes flickering slightly. What Shifu said, Qing Yang naturally knew that because of the combination of his own snake people, he encountered a lot of scorn and hostility in recent years. Only when you are strong can you decide these things. Otherwise, the weak will not have the right to speak, which is the eternal truth. Imagine, if you had the power to make people fearful, would anyone else treat you like this? Shifu slowly stroked Qing Yan's hair and said in a tone. The blue and white snake on the side wanted to say something, but couldn't say anything. Well, maybe from the day she woke up with the 3-flower pupils in her body, it was decided that she couldn't be like an ordinary woman. Seeing his master constantly enlightening Qing Yang, the blue and white snake shook his head and said. As for the green flute and Mu Feng, they separated from the blue and white snake a long time ago, and went to the desert area to join Xiao Yang. Senior, Qing Yang knows. After a while, the space outside the temple suddenly became quiet. It's good to know. But don't worry, if you improve your strength, I'm here. Shifu said slowly. Xiaoqing, you seem to have made a great contribution this time. After Shifu finished speaking, he slowly turned his head to face the blue and white snake. Master, things in the desert area have been very unstable recently, aren't they? The blue and white snake was overjoyed when he saw his master's agreement, and this three-flowered cauldron followed his master's side. I'm afraid the entire 9 tribes of the snake-human tribe would be overjoyed. No other thoughts can be regenerated. His master is currently the most powerful person in the entire Medusa clan. The little guy who has the blood of my snake people and the disciples of Funxiang Pavilion went to the desert area, where it doesn't seem to be very peaceful recently. The blue and white snake said slightly, and a chill emerged. In that desert land there is a forbidden existence of a fighting immortal powerhouse. Even I can't get in, but I still have to go in there. The things in there are very useful to Qingyang. Shifu finished speaking, the waist slightly straight. After hearing this, Qingyang and Qinghua snake nodded slightly. Blue and white snake, something bad happened. A roar echoed outside the entire temple space. The person who came was Angdong, who was in a state of embarrassment and had some scars of varying degrees on his body. Angry East. What's going on? Blue and white snake shell lips slightly parted, and a bad premonition permeated his heart. What are you angry about? This guy's ambitions are quite big, this time it seems. Shifu narrowed his eyes and said in his heart. For some unknown reason, after seeing Enyu Dong, Qingyang on the side felt a chill of fear spread from his heart. As for Shifu's partner next to him, the little snake looked at Enyu Dong coldly. This Nudong has a very bad reputation among the 9 major tribes of the Medusa clan, and it is said that this person has great ambitions and has to be guarded against. A human team entered the Charming Snake tribe, injured Mai Yi, the deputy leader of the Charming Snake tribe, and interrogated the location of the desert area. It seemed like what to do. And that group of humans led by a strong man who was even more terrifying than me. Its lineup has 2 9-star Do Emperors and 2 8-star Do Emperors, Enyu Dong said, enduring some pain on his body. What? 2 9-star fighting emperors, 2 8-star fighting emperors? The next moment, the blue and white snake was suddenly shocked, and there was a hint of heaviness in his eyes. Damn human. Take me away. The blue and white snake snorted coldly, and then the fighting spirit around it slowly dissipated. Let me go. The 2 9-star fighting emperors are not something you can handle. The old man on the side of Shifu said lightly. But master, can't you leave here? Blue and white snake said in surprise. It is said that the guardian who guards the temple of Medusa cannot leave this place for a lifetime. Rules are dead, people are alive. But Xiaolu, you should guard here. The old man Shifu stomped the snake-headed cane and limped towards the bottom. Let's go. I want to see who actually has the courage to break into our Medusa clan. After the old man of Shifu finished speaking, he exuded a huge green fighting spirit all over his body. Among the green grudges, the power of black and white is the main force, supplemented by green. Bastard, this Shifu is actually a semi-immortal strong man. Enyu Dong cursed in his heart, and then without hesitation, he moved his figure quickly, and then left to face the Charming Snake tribe. With the departure of Nudong, Qinghua Snake, Qingyang, and Shifu, the space outside the temple suddenly became quiet, and only Xiaolu was here silently. The rare piece is estimated to be over. The little green snake's pupil moved slightly, then sighed. After finishing speaking, Xiaolu's whole body turned into a green light, and then turned into a huge snake shadow about 100 meters in size, slowly lying around the temple. Do you want to do it? Mu Chenfeng opened his mouth slightly. Obviously based on his perception, he had long discovered that the Shifu had stayed away from here. Wait, there seems to be a huge movement in the temple. Qin Tian, who had his eyes tightly closed, said. What's going on in the temple? Yaroshin and Shenling King both looked at each other when they heard the words, and then shook their heads. At this moment, in the temple in front of him, an invisible terrifying ripple spread from the surface of the temple. Bang bang bang. Seeing this, Little Green hurriedly activated his vindictive aura and only cared about forming a huge defense in Baizhong Snake's body. This is the blood pressure of the 10-color swallowing python. The next moment, after the invisible ripples spread, Xiaolu's snake pupils shrank tightly, and then said in shock. She actually succeeded. A voice of excitement came from Xiaolu's voice. The invisible ripples and fluctuations just now, ordinary people will definitely not feel any abnormality. But Xiaolu, who also has the blood of the royal family of Medusa, is very clear about this power that comes from blood. The invisible fluctuation just now was clearly possessed by the blood of the 10-colored sky-swallowing python. In the temple at this time, in a dark space, one person and one beast are slowly closing their eyes. It's just that the auras on both of them suddenly intensified. The color scales floated in the air, and the blood of the blood-red 10-color swallowing python was continuously being absorbed into the body. At the same time, the 9-color halo around the color scales was extremely dazzling, and even faintly had the 10th color appeared. As for its strength, it also skyrocketed after absorbing blood essence. Just such a terrifying fluctuation. I am afraid that King Xianling has never had it. What is this? In a hidden space outside the temple, everyone murmured in the face of the invisible ripples. Forget it, let's grab the snake shadow first. Remember, you can't let her send a signal, you have to hit it. Otherwise, it will be troublesome. King Xianling said in a deep voice. The 8 people around responded instantly, only Yi Mo and Qin Tian didn't respond. After all, it's not their turn to do something like this. It's actually the power of the 10-colored swallowing python. This time, our Medusa family will definitely give birth to a king, Xiaolu said with great excitement. Before little Lu was happy, a few ghostly figures appeared in an instant, and then directly surrounded the little Lu Baizhong figure. Humanity. 8-star Do Emperor Powerhouse? Xiaolu exclaimed in surprise, and then the huge figure stood up, and a dignified expression appeared in his heart. Humph. Go to hell. Without hesitation, a strange vindictive voice hit Xiaolu directly. Even if Xiaolu has a snake body of 100 feet, he moves as fast as lightning. In an instant, he opened a distance of several meters and avoided the terrifying blow. Seeing that he didn't succeed with a single blow, Xian Mo was slightly surprised. Don't waste time. Several people around said. After the 8 people shot together, 8 battle chi mixed with different attributes instantly emerged, and then converged into 8 colored rays of light to face the giant snake in front of the humph. Xiaolu snorted coldly, and then the figure moved, the speed increased to the extreme, and suddenly fled towards the exit, just about to escape from here, but was unexpectedly scared down by a giant hand. 9-star Do Di. Xiaolu was photographed directly by the giant hand, and then was directly imprisoned by the 8-colored light. Looking up slightly, there are 3 extremely terrifying figures. Don't kill her, just imprison her. After all, she is also a 1-turn 9-star fighting emperor. Yi Mo said to the 8 people. Yes. The 8 people nodded secretly when they heard the words, and then set their eyes on the temple hundreds of meters away from the crowd. The temple is extremely magnificent, and the whole body is white. There seem to be some mysterious patterns on the periphery of the temple, like snakes, people and beasts, lifelike. How to open this? Qin Tian never looked at the little green from the beginning to the end, but was currently standing firmly against the temple in front of him. After all, the strength of the other 8 members of the dragon-loving legion was not vegetarian. As Qin Tian stared at the temple, it seemed that an extremely terrifying aura slowly emanated from it. Humph. Cunning humans. This temple is not something you can open with just a few humans. You guys should give up. After Xiaolu was imprisoned by the 8-color fighting chi, she also gave up her struggle and directly turned into a human woman, and then said to the 3 people floating in the sky, "Tell me how to open this temple, otherwise it will inevitably suffer from some flesh and blood." The mysterious demon on the side spoke, and his voice was full of gloom. "Asshole. Those of you who trespassed into my Medusa clan without permission, wait until our 9 leaders gather, and you will definitely have to come back and forth." Xiaolu snorted coldly, then sat down without speaking. There are a lot of auras hidden in this temple that make me quite afraid. The Medusa temple really lives up to its reputation. Yi Mo stared at the temple for a long time, but there was nothing to gain, and he opened his mouth slightly. "Yaroshin, hurry up." King Xianling didn't have the slightest idea before they met, and immediately said to one of the 8 people around Xiaolu. Yaroshin heard the words, took a step directly, and then came to Xiaolu's side. "Help me suppress her. Otherwise once she struggles, it is very likely that she will fail," the medicine core said heavily, and there was a bit of solemnity in his eyes. Yaroshin is an alchemist who is a 2nd-grade Emperor rank Earth Pill, and his soul power has just stepped into the Emperor's mortal level. It's just because the core has a special innate talent. This talent can detect other people's memories. This method is quite strange, even Qin Tian doesn't know the reason, but this kind of memory detection is very important to detection. It has almost no substantive impact, but Yaroshin can't help but feel a little hard in his heart to detect powerhouses with higher strength than himself. The special ability of Drug Core, if one is not careful, I am afraid that it will fall directly. Okay. When everyone heard the words, they knew that the time was tight, so they said in a deep voice, and then a huge battle chi instantly suppressed Xiaolu. Xiaolu felt the 10,000 jins of gravity pressing down on her with ferocious hunger, and it was a little difficult, and Bei's lips were tightly clenched. Seeing this, Yaroshin was overjoyed immediately. This little green dignifiedly transformed the strength of the 9-star Dodi. If she was allowed to use her memory exploration alone, she would probably end up in a dead end. But fortunately, many strong men forcibly suppressed Xiaolu's power to the initial stage of the 8-star Dodi. With such strength, Yaroshin has enough confidence to succeed. The medicine core closed his eyes instantly, and then a huge soul force suddenly emerged. The invisible soul power just emerged, and it was going towards Xiaolu. Bang bang bang! As soon as the soul power entered Xiaolu's body, a huge murderous aura instantly filled out, and sweat continued to appear on the eyebrows of the medicine core. Obviously, even if this Xiaolu's strength was suppressed, dignified Xiaolu, who turned the strength of the 9-star Do Emperor, was not so easy to detect. At the same time, in the desert, one of the four, an old man with a snake-headed cane in his hand, was suddenly shocked, and a chill filled his heart. It seems to be true. Shifu sighed slightly. Master, what's wrong? Seeing this, Blue and White Snake was extremely puzzled as to why his master did this. Enyu Dong, this time is your good deed, right? Fornicating with human beings, this is enough to judge you as a mortal situation. Shifu said to the burly man beside him with a snake-headed cane. Humph. Blue and White Snake, since you have seen it, I will not hide it. That's right, it's this king. I think how much effort this king has paid for our Medusa family, but how do the leaders of other tribes and people in your decision-making circle treat me? Presumably, Senior Shifu knows this. The desert is not suitable for us snake people to live. King Xianling promised me that as long as he takes away the 9-colored swallowing python that entered the temple, he will give us a suitable place to live. Then the time will be when our Medusa clan will prosper. Enyu Dong said with a grim smile. That smile was extremely hideous. Asshole. How can King Xianling believe it? Have you forgotten the grievances between our Medusa family and the Xianling royal family? Shifu was furious. And my strength and status are enough to rank in the top 3 among the Medusa clan. If I succeed this time, I will become the real king of the Medusa clan. Ha ha ha. Enyu Dong smiled strangely. Humph. Since you do this, then you can't blame me. When I capture you, put you into the 10,000 snake skull and suffer the pain of 10,000 snakes. After Shifu finished speaking, the space around him trembled strangely, and then a strange black and white vindictiveness went away in anger. If there is no surefire way, do you think I will be here? After Enyu Dong finished speaking, a black scroll flashed in his hand. Space scroll? This Enyu Dong is really willing. This space scroll is extremely expensive. I am afraid that the value of this scroll alone will not be lower than that of the second-rank Emperor-rank medicinal pill. Shifu's attack failed, and Enyu Dong was in black. The moment the scroll appeared, it suddenly disappeared. At the time of Du's appearance, Enyu Dong himself returned to his own tribe. The tribe that Enyu Dong controls is called the Avengers tribe, and its overall strength is enough to rank the top 3 among the 9 major tribe. Leader. The team is assembled, 3 8-star fighting emperors and 5 7-star fighting emperors. Just after Enyu Dong returned to the tribe, a snake man with a long sword on his back said respectfully, let's go. This time, let me open a new chapter of the Medusa family. King Xianling, do you think you are very smart? Shifu's half-immortal strength, I am afraid that with the strength of your 11 people, you are all overwhelmed, not to mention the leaders of other tribe. I want the 9-colored swallowing python, that thing in your King Xianling. I want too. After Enyu Dong finished speaking, he laughed strangely. Don't get too happy too soon. After all, the strength of the Xianling king and the entire dragon-loving army should not be underestimated. Be careful when the boat capsizes in the gutter. A sinister cold hum appeared. With the appearance of this cold snort, the face of Ang Dong calmed down in an instant, and then slowly said to the figure surrounded by strange black energy, what your lord said is very true. The poor Xianling royal family wants to use my ghost world's hand to get rid of the roadblockers for them. It's too whimsical. And there seems to be some heresy among Solomon, so I was sent here. As for my purpose, it's just the soul of the powerful Xianling royal family, the rest belongs to you. I have collected so many things from my ghost world. This time, please return them all. The pitch-black figure said slowly, but the black aura around him was very eerie, giving people an unfathomable feeling. Then wish us a happy cooperation, Lord Thousand-Faced Ghost. After Nu Dong finished speaking, there was also a ghostly energy on his body, but there was no fear of the man in black. In the Temple of Medusa, King Shenling and his group are staring nervously at Yaroshin and Little Green. At this time, the two looked rather strange. Yoroxinmei's eyes were slightly closed, and an invisible soul force was continuously injected into Xiaolu. Although Xiaolu resisted extremely fiercely, she was suppressed by the other 7 8-star Do-D strong. Once there is any news, they will take action without hesitation. Go back. There seem to be some uninvited guests at the gate of the temple. Issue the Medusa Snake Order. King Shenling, let us make a good result this time. After Shifu finished speaking, he smiled slowly, but the ruthlessness in that voice could be heard by anyone. The blue and white snake heard the words, and immediately knew the importance of the matter, and immediately a small snake exuding colorful colors rose into the sky, and then turned into a gorgeous 7-color cloud, soaring straight into the sky. It's the Medusa Snake Order again? What happened this time? Why is the Medusa Snake Order issued again? In each of the 9 major Medusa tribes, each leader just returned to his own tribe, and immediately found the 7-colored clouds in the sky, and immediately whispered, "Abominable human beings who treat my wife like this time they will definitely kill you." In the Charm Snake tribe, after Mai Lan returned, when she heard what Mai Yi said, she was immediately angry. Let's go. The signal is around the temple. Could it be that those humans are running towards the temple? As soon as the voice fell, among the 9 tribes, 8 figures rose into the sky and headed towards the temple. Strange to say, this temple is located in the core area of the 9 major tribes of Medusa. It's like the 9 tribes protecting the temple. The place where the temple is located under the desert. How's it going? King Shenling said eagerly when he saw Yaroshin had just put his hand away. It's a little strange. According to my investigation, the opening of this temple seems to require the power of at least 7 tribal leaders of the 9 major tribes of the Medusa family to open. And the convenience of opening it is quite strange. It seems that you only need to transfer your Do-Chi to the temple. Yaoshin's beautiful eyes were a little puzzled, obviously not knowing whether this method of opening the temple was correct. However, Yaroshin is quite confident in her talent. Besides, now that the strength of this Little Green is suppressed, it is impossible to make mistakes. For the rest, there is only one other possibility. That is, the convenience is right. How can there be such a weird way to open it? King Shenling immediately wrinkled when he heard the words. Even with King Xuanling's experience, he didn't know there was such a way. Forget it, it doesn't matter, let's try it first. I feel that there are quite a few powerful breaths rushing here. Yi Mo, who was silent on the side, broke through and said, "If that's the case, then come on. With our current lineup, let alone a few, I'm afraid that the real fighting immortals have the power to fight." King Shenling snorted coldly, and then stared at the temple, a huge breath suddenly emerge. Do it. The next moment, the little green aura weakened slightly, and then King Shenling suddenly drank it. Shabu. With King Xuanling's voice, the auras of the 11 people suddenly burst out. The monstrous 11 auras of completely different colors instantly turned into huge pillars of Do-Chi light, and the Do-Chi beams of light came together one after another, turbulently gathering on the white wall of the temple. Damn it! Little Green twisted his human body, then moved slowly, and hurriedly left here. You have to die. Xiaolu's aura suddenly soared, and he was released from the captivity in an instant, and then his figure moved instantly, leaving the temple for a few hundred meters in an instant, heading towards the exit of the temple. Boom boom boom. Upon seeing this, the Shenling King and everyone had no extra power to intercept Xiaolu, who was as powerful as a 9-star Do Emperor, and could only let him escape. Bang bang bang. The huge 11 beams of Do-Chi light headed towards the Bai-Zi temple with a destructive aura, and some extremely terrifying black and white powers emerged from several of them, which was extremely terrifying. But this is the case. On the wall of Bai-Zi's temple, it seems that it has never changed. No matter how the Shenling King and the others attack, there is no change. This temple is really weird. Increase your strength. Yi Mo narrowed his eyes slightly, as if he had found something. Shabu. With Yi Mo's voice, the breath of the 11 people emerge. Its huge Do-Chi beam of light was even bigger, and 11 strands of Do-Chi that were stronger than just before smashed onto the wall of Bai-Zi's temple. King Xuanling's group and the walls of Bai-Zi temple were in a tense stalemate. In the dark space, several figures slowly emerged. This King Shenling actually wants to enter the temple of Medusa. I remember hearing that a little guy with a 9-colored sky-swallowing python appeared in their snake-human race. Could it be that woman? But why did this King Shenling go so far as to dispatch the entire dragon-loving army? Could it be an inconspicuous place in the temple space? The space fluctuated slightly, but it did not attract the attention of the attentive King Shenling and his group. Old Zhu slowly muttered to himself, and then stared at the wall of Bai Zedi's temple. At this time, the wall of Bai Zedi's temple was already under the combined efforts of the Shenling King and everyone, and there was a strange appearance. On the wall of Bai Zedi's temple, the color suddenly changed, and then a lifelike image appeared on the wall. What is this? The other three of Solomon who were hiding in the other place, their pupils shrank tightly, and the strange fighting spirit surrounding them appeared strange on the wall of the Bai's temple, and suddenly began to wriggle. This appearance is clearly a feeling of fear. Sect Master, what's wrong? It's weird. Quickly withdraw. Liu Quan, the head of the three sects, has such an old-fashioned vision after seeing the strange appearance on the walls of the Bai's temple. He walked towards the exit without hesitation. Because what appeared on the wall of the Bai Zi temple was a lifelike pattern. At the moment when the pattern just appeared, the dozens of people in the dragon-loving army who were constantly pumping vindictive energy towards the temple trembled slightly. Even the powerhouses among the 11 who did not reach the level of the 9-star Do Emperor all spit out a mouthful of blood. Hurry up. King Shenling snorted immediately. A fearful thought emerged in his heart, and then he stared at the mysterious pattern on the wall of the Bai's temple with difficulty. It was a rather strange pattern. In the pattern, a giant snake of several dozen meters appeared. The giant snake raised its arrogant head slightly and stared at the Shenling King and the others in front of him. It felt as if the arrogant king was despising the weak ant. The whole body of the giant snake is dazzling. The snake body is divided into 7 parts, and a different color emerges on each part. What is even more terrifying is that among the 7 colors, they are all powers of completely different nature. As for the snake pupil, a strange spirituality emerged, but for some unknown reason, when King Shenling looked at these dead gray pupils, the soul in his body trembled involuntarily. Colorful swallowing python. Qin Tian on the side withdrew his vindictiveness slightly, clenched his palms involuntarily, and then stared at the giant snake. A dangerous aura pervades this space. This video will end here.